Everyone, it's me, Julie O'Connell. I'm coming on here to do a story about Narconon. And NBC in 2012 did a two-part expose on Narconon. Narconon is a rehab facility for Scientology. And parents of some people that died at Narconon were confused because they did not sell a bill of goods with what they were selling. Narconon is a facility that is run similar to how Scientology is. The students learn by 8 books of LRH, and the programs at the time cost each student around $30,000. They were willing to help if they had insurance or if they had enough money to go into this facility. Scientology is all about its statistics. They were saying that 75% of the students that were in the Narconon program became off drugs. The Narconon program made students sit 5 hours a day in a sauna taking 5,000 milligrams of niacin. This is similar to Scientology's purification rundown because LRH felt drugs were stored in your fat cells, which is furthest from the truth. Narconon is a non-medically induced detox program. So if anybody is addicted to alcohol, they would need to be at a medically induced facility because the risk of coming off of alcohol can cause seizures, and it can cause people to have very adverse reactions without getting a medically induced detox. It has 62 treatment centers around the world. The doctrine has been supposedly investigated. However, a girl who died had drugs still in her system. The rampant drug use in the Narconon facility is awful. Casey Wernick, 27, checked into the Lake Arrowhead facility in Oklahoma. A few weeks after her 28th birthday, she died in a Oklahoma hospital because she was having a respiratory infection. And by the time she got to the hospital, she died an hour later. This is what Scientology does. They do not believe in any type of medical health care. Instead of giving her the proper medication that could have saved her life, these Scientologists did not. And it's absolutely run by Scientologists. And anyone who says Narconon is beneficial, it is not beneficial. They're only allowed to do non-medical stuff because that would be practicing without a license. Gabriel Graves was also found dead at the same Narconon facility. He was a father of 2 young girls. He was only 32 years old. In Quebec, Canada, they shut down one of the largest Narconon facilities. Medically induced detox is necessary when you're coming off of alcohol and you're coming off of really high other drugs like fentanyl. You need to be in a medically induced detox. Colin Henderson was getting ready to protest at the Oklahoma facility for Narconon. He was denied his blood pressure medication while he was in the facility at Lake Arrowhead in Oklahoma. He came to the facility to get off drugs, not for the facility to rewire his brain. Stacy Murphy also died at this facility at the same time. And then when she was on a break for one day, when she went back to her family, she relapsed, and when the people at the facility checked on her, she was dead. She went into one of these holding units that was supposed to be supervised, but she was not being supervised for any withdrawal symptoms. You know, this is heartbreaking because Narconon is a front group for Scientology. Narconon caused these people's deaths, and it's been covered up. It's been really covered up. They claim they have been investigating these deaths, but I don't know if anything has come about of it. Scientology is very harmful. The purification rundown, they are saying that high level of niacin can affect your kidneys, it can affect your liver. It's not good for you. Even in the daily recommended dose of niacin in your vitamin, they're now not suggesting that. It is very harmful to people who go into a facility. I know this from personal experience because my dad was an addict. I highly do not recommend Narconon for anyone who is seeking drug rehabilitation. Do your research on a legitimate medically induced detox. You do not want to go to Narconon because they will rewire your children's brain, your brother, sister, mother, father's brain. And they will indoctrinate them into Scientology. Many of the people that graduate from the Narconon program end up working as counselors at Narconon and then go on from there and go into Scientology. It is a proven fact. 2 high-level executives were on this NBC expose, and they basically said, we didn't want to be here and to have our brains rewired. They finally got out around 2010 and 2011 from Scientology. Scientology is a harmful human trafficking cult, and I fight it on a daily basis. David Miscavige has personal knowledge of these deaths that have happened at these Narconon facilities. Narconon was also in the news recently in Australia because they did not pay their staff members, and they forced these staff members to leave because they were complaining that they were not getting paid. Anyone in the real world who is working a job expects to be paid. Period. I mean, it's like what Scientology does when somebody gets something for free. They say there's an exchange rate. So if you're doing something out of the kindness of your heart and you're doing something to give somebody something for free, they have to do something in return. I don't believe in this. This is why I'm kind and I do my research. I do my research for this channel. Narconon is a horrible entity. It's one of the main front groups for Scientology. Same with Criminon, the Way to Happiness, the Wise business groups. People who are joining this cult are getting brainwashed into thinking that their thoughts and feelings are not valid. And what I mean about that is they have this group mind think. What is better for the group, you just go with it. If you have an ailment, they say, what did you do to pull that in? Or if somebody sexually assaults you in Scientology, they say you pulled that in. Who did you sexually assault in another lifetime? This is why this horrible human trafficking cult needs to be shut down. Scientology has done harmful things. And I'm going to speak about it because they hide behind the guise that they are a religion. They are not a religion. They are a pay-to-play scheme. They have so many RICO violations, and they abuse the elderly and they abuse the children. Because in Scientology, a child is a big being in a little body. They don't believe in children. They believe that you're a Thetan and you've lived lifetime after lifetime. You've lived for 75 trillion years. Thank you and have a great night and enjoy your family and friends. Take time for yourself. Thank you and have a great night.